What is up, all my geeks and gamers? TechGeek1019 here, coming at you with the second part of the Dimension tutorial for Minecraft Forge 1.7.10. Last time we left off, we made our onNeighbor block change method, which told our portal block what to do when certain things were on each side of it. So let's get right back into it. Next method we're gonna do is it's a public integer quantity dropped, and it's just going to be a random integer. If I could spell random, that'd be great. This is pretty self-explanatory. I would assume we're using Java util. This is pretty self-explanatory. It's just a method that says what it would drop, or how many of the item it would drop if you broke it, and we're going to put 0 because if you break the portal, you don't want it to drop anything. So, next method we're going to do is public void on entity collided with block. Obviously, this is just going to be a method that tells the portal what to do if an entity walks through, and basically what we want that to do is we want to send it to our new dimension. So, it's going to be world, and then an integer x, integer y, integer z, and an entity. And there you go. And we're going to import entity, and that's net.minecraft.entity. So, we are going to say if entity dot writing, not written by entity, dot writing entity equals null, and the entity dot written by entity equals null, and I spelled null wrong, and entity is an instance of entity player MP. Basically what that's saying, if the entity writing entity is null, so as if you're not writing something, I believe, and you're not being written by anything, and it's an instance of player, entity player MP. I'm not sure what that is. That is just, what is this? This is basically just the entity, player, just the player. So if that, then entity player MP, we're going to set that as the player, because that's what you are, is entity player MP entity. Instead of that, it's going to be Minecraft server equals Minecraft server dot get server. We're just getting the Minecraft server here. So now we're going to say if entity instance of entity player MP, entity player MP, which is true because we set it up there. Entity player, entity instance. Entity is the instance of that, and we said if it is, so that already says that it is, because otherwise it wouldn't get past here. So that is true. And also if the player, which we set up there, dot time, the player dot time until portal is greater than 0. Basically, the Time until portal. What does this say? Time until portal. Whether the entity, right? Render entity even if outside the care. Using global rendering. That's the, right. Anything else? That's just it. Okay. So I'd assume that it is just the time until the portal, is rendered, I would assume. Then the player dot time until portal is 10. And then we're going to have an else if the player dot dimension does not equal our dimension ID. So if the player dimension is not our dimension, then the player dot time until portal equals 10. I still don't know what that means, but we are going to say if he is not in our dimension and he is in any other dimension and we make the portal and he goes into the portal, then the player dot MC server dot get configuration manager dot transfer the player to the dimension. This is actually going to be the other one, but we are going to have the player, then the dimension, that dimension ID, as well as our teleporter, which we will create at a later date. This is going to be our teleporter so that it knows where to send us, and this is going to have the server dot worlds. This is the world server for dimension, and this is for this dimension that we are creating, obviously. What else? After this, we shall create an else statement. Else the player dot time until portal equals 10. So basically this is saying if he is in our dimension, then we send him get configuration manager dot transfer player to dimension. It is the player, the dimension ID, which is 0 because that is the overworld, as well as put him through our teleporter again. Sorry about that. Getting confused. And I believe it is the same, except the server dot the world server for the dimension is 0 because that is the overworld. And there we go for the entity collided on block. So that will tell it what to do when a player goes through this portal block. Okay, seems good there. Alrighty. Now we will just set a few things. There's a few things left. I think that's fine. Alrighty. Next method we've got is a public boolean, and it is try to create portal. And it is going to try to create the portal in a world with an integer x, y, and z, of course. In this method, we are going to set a new byte. This byte is going to be called B0, and it's going to equal 0. And another byte, which is B1, and it is also going to equal 0. So, we're going to start off with an if statement, and if the world.getBlock, if world.getBlock, that would be x minus 1, y, and z, equals our block, or should I say, that is going to be our surrounding block, or the same thing, basically, so we'll just copy-paste this into here, and this is instead going to be x plus 1. So we're back into this this math stuff that we had before, you know, where the block to the left and to the right is our block, or to the right, should I say. Then we're going to have the byte equal 1, so it is going to be true. And outside of that if statement, we are going to have another if statement, and it is going to be just about the same thing. So we shall just copy the whole thing, and I did not put it in its parentheses. And basically, it is going to be the same thing, except it is going to be up and down rather than left and right. I actually messed that up right there. It is going to be z minus 1, as well as z plus 1. So anything if it's the top and bottom is our block, or should I say top or bottom is our block. Below or above it, then byte 1 is going to equal 1 as well. Outside of that, if byte 0 equals byte 1, then return false. So if they're the same thing, if both of these, if that is the same as that, then don't create the portal. Because otherwise you're basically having a block to the left and above it. So then it wouldn't work. Then you can't create the portal. Okay. Then we are going to have an else. And this else will say if world.getBlock getBlock x minus byte 0, y, and z minus byte 1 equals blocks dot air. So if the block to the left of our portal block is sapphire ore, because we set b0 equal to 1, which means it's true, and the block below it is and the block below the portal is air, then we want to set the x not equal to byte 1 as 0, and oopsies, there we go, and the z negative equals b1. Ugh, excuse me. Alrighty, outside of this, we're going to have 3 integers: int l, integer I1, oh no, sorry, just 2 integers. And we're going to have a for loop for L equaling -1 and I1 less than or equal to 3 and plus L for that, as well as for I1 equaling -1, and I1 being less than or equal to 3, and plus I actually think I messed this up. Yes, this is L, excuse me, and this is less than or equal to 2, excuse me, for that. Alright, we're gonna have a Boolean flag, and it's going to equal L, which is going to equal -1, or L equals 2, or I1 equals -1, or I1 equals 3, because that is obviously going to be, whoa, I did something wrong there. That should be -1, my bad. I1, excuse me. So the flag is going to be L is -1, or L is is 2, or I1 is -1 and I1 is 3, and that's completely possible because we set it less than or equal to, and we also set it equal to -1 over here. So we're going to have if L is not equal to -1, which it should be, and L is not equal to 2, or I1 is not equal to -1, or, excuse me, and L, whoa, hold on, I'm getting lost in my code. I1 is not equal to 3, and I believe I messed, let me put a space there, and we should be good. And I1 is not equal to 3, then block, J1 we'll call it, is world dot get block, X plus byte 0, times L, which L is going to, not equal 1 and not equal 2, as well as what else? Then Y plus I1, oops, caps I1, and Z plus B1 times L. So that's what that is, and then we're going to have if the flag, if we have that flag that we declared right up here. So if I is not equal 1 and L does not equal 2, or I1 does not equal 1 and I1 does not equal 3, and if J1, which is that block, does not equal our block that surrounds our portal, if it does not equal that, then we return false, because it cannot equal false. That because if it does not satisfy those things, the proper blocks are not around that, and it cannot create this portal. Nice. Alright. So outside this second bracket over here, we're going to have an else if statement. And it's going to say if the J1 block does not equal blocks so if that block does not equal the air and J1 does not equal our block, that. So if this block up here, where is it? the block to the, let me think. 1 plus 1. I believe that is the block to the right and to the top. It's the top rightmost block that you can have, and the Y would be behind it, I think, or so. So if it doesn't equal, the air and the block, then, actually, this is going to be our fire. Once we make it, we're going to make fire eventually. So if it doesn't equal air and it doesn't equal fire, because the fire would light it, then it will return false again. False. Okay, what's wrong here? If J1, does not equal. Sorry. We don't have that yet. Return false all the way out here then. 1, 2, 3. Right here. We're going to have a for loop to close it out. And it's going to be for L equaling zip. And for L being less than 2, plus L. So this is basically what we were doing before, except it equals 0 and it's less than 2. So it's in between 0 and 2. And then we're going to have the for I1 equals 0 and I1 less than 3. And plus I1. And then we're going to go under that, and we're going to say world dot set block x plus byte 0 times L y. Oops. Y plus I1 and z plus byte 1 times L, and the block is going to be sapphire blocks dot our teleporter block that we do not have yet, dot block oh wait, is this the right block? I think this is our, wait. I think it's our portal block, yeah. 0 and 2. Then, after all that, we're finally going to get it to return true, and it will create this portal. For now, so that we could run it, I'm going to set this to blocks.fire. And I'm going to... can I run this yet? I think that it's just not going to let us go through it. Let me just check on that. If not, then we'll leave it for later. Let's see here. Oh, you are not going to be able to see this. Huh. So let me do this then real quick. Let's do game capture, this one. There, nice. I like that actually. I'm gonna shrink that a bit. Actually, I'll take it and I will go like that for you guys, because you don't really have to see it. There you go. Alright, so we're going to go into our single player world here, and we are going to check it out. Do we have our portal block? No, because I did not put it in a tab. I don't think, did I? Did I not put it in a tab? Probably. So we're going to go up to the top here, and we're going to, right after this super, just say this dot set creative tab. Where did I put it? What's my tab again called? Sapphire tab. Cool. Sapphire tab. Alright, now we can launch it. Alright guys, so turns out I won't be able to show you the block in-game because there's something wrong with my computer right now. It keeps crashing the graphics driver, but that's no matter. I will get it working by the next tutorial, hopefully, and then I will be able to show you guys our block. But in the meantime, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this helped you guys. If it did, be sure to hit that like button. Third part of the tutorial will be out most likely next week. But other than that, don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials, and I will see you guys next time. Peace!